There is an anti-aging cream in your bathroom right now. You have probably been using it for years. Maybe your mother used it before you. And it may be releasing a known carcinogen directly onto your face every single night while you sleep. We looked at 7 of America's most popular anti-aging creams. One contains a preservative that slowly releases formaldehyde, classified as a known human carcinogen by the IARC. One contains a UV filter that absorbed into participants' bloodstreams after just 1 day of use in a 2019 FDA study. And number 1 makes your skin absorb everything else in the formula deeper and faster. Here's the context. The European Union restricts or bans over 1,600 ingredients in cosmetics. The United States has banned 11. The same brands make cleaner formulas for European markets because they are required to. What you are buying was a choice. No sponsorships, no brand deals, just ingredient research. Let's get into it. $9 a jar. Applied to your face and neck every night. Trusted by millions of women for decades. Flip the jar over and look for DM-hydantoin. That is a formaldehyde releaser. Its chemical function is to slowly release formaldehyde over time to prevent bacterial growth. Formaldehyde is classified as a known human carcinogen by the IARC, the same classification as asbestos and tobacco. The European Union requires warning labels on products containing formaldehyde releasers above a certain threshold. The US has no equivalent requirement. No warning, no disclosure. Just a name most people do not recognize. I want to be transparent. The amount released per application is low, and concentrations are within US permitted limits. The concern is the pattern. Daily application to your face, left on overnight for years. Not one use. A decade of nightly exposure. Other names to look for: diazolidinylurea, imidazolidinylurea, quaternium 15. All formaldehyde releasers. All doing the same thing under different names. Now you know what to look for. Olay Regeneris looks like a smart formulation. Hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, peptides. The active ingredients are genuinely respected by the skincare community. But check the preservative system. This formula contains methylparaben, ethylparaben, and propylparaben. 3 parabens in a single jar. A 2004 study in the Journal of Applied Toxicology detected parabens in human breast tissue. It does not prove causation, but it confirms they absorb and accumulate in the body. They do not just sit on the surface, they go somewhere. The EU has restricted propyl and butylparaben in certain leave-on cosmetics. The US has not restricted any parabens. Olay's formula is legal. I want to be transparent. Low concentrations in a single product are unlikely to cause immediate harm. Most dermatologists will confirm that. The concern researchers raise is cumulative. The same preservatives across your moisturizer, serum, sunscreen, and body lotion every day for years. Procter & Gamble has already reformulated for markets that require it. The choice to keep 3 parabens in the US formula is economic, not scientific. 3 parabens in a $28 moisturizer. Wait until you hear what is in the $13 one you use every morning. One product, morning moisturizer and SPF combined. Sounds efficient. The problem is the UV filter, oxybenzone. In 2019, the FDA found oxybenzone in participants' blood after a single day of sunscreen use, at levels that triggered their threshold for additional safety testing. The FDA has formally requested more safety data from manufacturers. That request is still outstanding. They have not concluded oxybenzone is harmful, but they have stated they do not yet have sufficient data to confirm it is safe at the levels people are absorbing it. On top of oxybenzone, this formula contains methylparaben, ethylparaben, and propylparaben. The same 3 parabens as the Olay cream. Every morning, a UV filter with outstanding safety questions and 3 EU-restricted parabens simultaneously. I want to be transparent. The FDA maintains chemical sunscreens are safe based on decades of use data. Many dermatologists argue that sun damage is a far greater risk than any theoretical concern from oxybenzone. That is a legitimate position worth weighing seriously. But Neutrogena already makes mineral SPF versions, with zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, for markets with stricter requirements. They know how to build effective sun protection without oxybenzone. The formula you are buying in an American drugstore is not the only version they make. It was a choice. That was your morning routine. Now let's talk about what is happening to your face for 8 hours every night. A night serum sits on your face for 8 hours straight. Your skin barrier naturally relaxes during sleep. Blood flow to the skin increases. Absorption is enhanced compared to daytime application. Whatever is in this formula has the best possible conditions for penetrating deeply. Every single night. L'Oreal's Revitalift Night Serum fills those 8 hours with fragrance, denatured alcohol, and parabens. The word fragrance on a US label is a legal trade secret. It can contain dozens of individual chemicals that companies are not required to disclose. You cannot look them up. You cannot assess them. You cannot choose to avoid specific ones. They are simply hidden behind a single word. The EU requires individual disclosure of 26 fragrance allergens above threshold. American consumers get one word. The denatured alcohol is a penetration enhancer. It disrupts your skin barrier, the protective layer that regulates what enters your body, making everything else absorb more readily and more deeply. I want to be transparent. This formula complies with all US regulations. The concern is not one night. It is 365 nights, 8 hours each, with a barrier-stripping alcohol and undisclosed fragrance compounds, on the most absorbent skin on your body, under the best absorption conditions of your entire day. That is the exposure pattern researchers flag. Not one application, a decade of optimal condition nightly delivery. 8 hours a night, every night. And you have been paying $22 for it. If you are learning something new right now, hit like so more people can find this research. The next one costs $190, and it is worse than the $9 jar. Credit where it is due. Aveeno removed parabens and phthalates from this formula. That is a meaningful difference from several products on this list. But it introduces a concern most people miss: soy extract. Soy contains phytoestrogens, plant compounds that interact with estrogen receptors in the body. They are not synthetic. They are not parabens. But they interact with the same hormonal pathways. This is a leave-on serum, applied daily, with prolonged skin contact. I want to be transparent. For most healthy adults, soy extract in skincare is unlikely to cause measurable effects. But for women managing estrogen-dominant conditions, thyroid concerns, or hormone-sensitive situations, this is worth knowing. Your dermatologist can help you assess whether it is relevant to you. The formula also contains fragrance, the same undisclosed trade secret as the L'Oreal serum. Aveeno did the work to remove parabens. They could have gone further. Aveeno at $16 at least removed the parabens. The next product at $190 did not bother removing the fragrance trade secret, or the penetration enhancer designed to push it deeper. $190. And the clearest proof that price has nothing to do with ingredient transparency. La Mer skips parabens and phthalates. I want to acknowledge that because it matters. But the formula contains denatured alcohol and a complex fragrance blend: limonene, geraniol, linalool, citronellol, benzyl salicylate. Under EU regulations, several of those compounds are required to be individually disclosed on labels as recognized allergens. In Europe, you see the names. In the US, they are all hidden under the word fragrance. The denatured alcohol is a penetration enhancer, the same mechanism as the L'Oreal serum. It increases how deeply other ingredients may absorb. Pair it with a fragrance blend of multiple undisclosed compounds, and you are using an ingredient specifically designed to push the unknown deeper. I want to be transparent. La Mer complies with all U.S. regulations. Many people use it for years without any concern they can identify. But at $190, the reasonable expectation is full transparency. The jar is beautiful. The marketing is impeccable. The fragrance is a trade secret. For $190, you could buy 4 jars of the Acure cream coming up at number 1 on our safe list, with a complete, fully disclosed ingredient list on every single one, and none of the penetration-enhancing alcohol pushing unknown compounds deeper into your skin. This is number 1 not because of one ingredient. It is number 1 because of how the formula may work against you. Retinol accelerates skin cell turnover. That is what reduces wrinkles. But the same mechanism thins your skin's outer barrier and makes it significantly more permeable. Retinol opens the door for everything else in the formula. Now look at what walks through that door. Fragrance. Undisclosed trade secret. No label requirement in the US. BHT. Butylated hydroxytoluene. Animal studies have flagged it for potential hormonal effects on thyroid function and reproductive signaling. Human data at cosmetic concentrations is limited and not conclusive. But BHT is listed on California's Prop 65 for developmental toxicity concerns. And some variants in this line contain parabens, depending on which specific product you purchase. I want to be transparent. Retinol is one of the most dermatologist-recommended anti-aging ingredients that exist. The BHT data in humans at cosmetic doses is not a verdict. Many dermatologists consider the permeability increase manageable, but the concern is the combination. Retinol is actively increasing permeability, while fragrance compounds, BHT, and potential parabens are all present. The ingredient fighting your wrinkles is simultaneously creating conditions where everything else may absorb more deeply. You are not just applying fragrance, BHT, and parabens. The retinol is opening the door and waving them through. At $25, that is the combination you are paying for. That is why it is number 1. Before we get to the safe picks, if you want a quick reference for everything we cover on this channel, I put together a free checklist of 12 ingredients to watch for on any label tonight. Link is in the description. 3 hormone-safer alternatives. Fully disclosed ingredient lists. Third-party certifications. And everyone is cheaper than La Mer. While these formulas avoid the high-concern ingredients we covered, everyone's skin and hormone sensitivity are different. If you have specific concerns, talk to a dermatologist before making changes to your routine. ROX retinol thins your barrier and may accelerate absorption of everything else. True Botanicals built their product around the opposite principle. The active is a plant-derived retinol alternative powered by a compound called peptilium, studied in a published clinical trial and shown to deliver anti-aging benefits without increasing skin permeability. You get the anti-aging activity without opening the door for everything else. No parabens, no synthetic fragrance, no formaldehyde releasers. Made safe certified, independently screened against thousands of known or suspected human health toxins. Not a marketing claim, a documented third-party certification with published standards. The formula includes rosehip oil, sea buckthorn, plant-derived ceramides, and lactic acid, ingredients chosen to support the skin barrier rather than compromise it. At $48, it costs more. But you are getting a complete disclosed ingredient list, an independent safety certification, and none of the permeability concern that put ROC at number 1 on our avoid list. Zero synthetic fragrances, 0 parabens, 0 phthalates, 0 formaldehyde releasers. EWG verified. Every ingredient independently reviewed against their lists of concern. Third-party verification, not a brand self-report. The solid format is a formulation advantage. Less water means fewer preservatives needed to prevent bacterial growth. That structurally reduces the total chemical load before you even look at the ingredient list. The key active is phytoglycogen. Phytoglycogen is a plant-derived compound studied for skin hydration and anti-aging benefits. Alongside it, peptides that support collagen production, and shea butter, argan oil, and jojoba esters that integrate into your skin barrier rather than strip it. No fragrance trade secret, no barrier stripping alcohol. At $38, it costs less than Olay Regenerist, which comes with 3 parabens and no third-party certification. $16. Less than L'Oreal's Night Serum, less than RoC's Retinol Cream, and a fraction of the price of La Mer, which gave you a trade secret fragrance and an alcohol to push it deeper. Free from parabens, phthalates, mineral oil, petrolatum, and formaldehyde releasers. Fragrance-free, essential oil-free. Complete, fully disclosed ingredient list. No trade secrets. Instead of retinol, a multi-peptide complex, palmitoyl tripeptide 1 and copper peptides, signals your skin to support collagen production without thinning the barrier. No permeability increase. Nothing opening the door for accelerated absorption of everything else. Vitamin C and ferulic acid address oxidative stress, one of the primary drivers of visible aging. Marula oil and sodium hyaluronate provide deep hydration without petroleum-derived ingredients. Here is what makes it number 1. Every cream on the avoid list compromised your skin barrier in some way. L'Oreal's alcohol stripped it. RoC's retinol thinned it. Pond's formaldehyde releaser disrupted it through chronic low-grade irritation. Acure does the exact opposite. The multi-peptide system reinforces your barrier and builds it up. A stronger barrier means fewer external compounds penetrate your skin throughout the day and overnight. At $22, it is the cleanest formula on this list, the most transparent ingredient disclosure, and the most affordable hormone-safer option by a significant margin. That is why it is number 1. 7 anti-aging creams. A formaldehyde releaser in a $9 jar millions of women apply every night. 3 parabens in a best-selling $28 moisturizer. A UV filter with outstanding FDA safety questions in your morning SPF. 8 hours of undisclosed fragrance and barrier-stripping alcohol in your night serum. A $190 luxury cream hiding its formula behind a trade secret. And a retinol that may accelerate delivery of every other questionable ingredient in the bottle. 3 hormone-safer alternatives, all cheaper than La Mer, all with complete ingredient disclosure, all with third-party certifications that the brands on our avoid list do not have. Flip your creams over tonight. Look for DMDM hydantoin. Look for methylparaben, ethylparaben, propylparaben. Look for the word fragrance and ask yourself what is hiding behind it. The ingredient list is there on every jar. Now you know how to read it. Drop in the comments. Which of these creams are you currently using? Have you checked the label yet? Links to all 3 hormone-safer picks are in the description below. Subscribe. Next week we are covering sunscreens. One of them absorbs into your bloodstream within hours of a single application. And it is in products marketed specifically for children.